Hello, Aniview fans! And I know that according to our YouTube statistics, all of you are average 17 to 24, which means none of you are 30. So turn off right now, because we are talking about a show called 30 Sino Hoken Taiiku, or Health and Physical Education for the 30-year-old man. Here with me today, I have Retroali 93. Hello. Today, we are talking about a show which is, it's basically, how many episodes is it? 12 episodes that are about 12 13 minutes long. They're half episodes, and it's basically about a guy who is going to attempt to lose his virginity, because it's the Japanese version of 40-year-old virgin, but for otakus,
And
basically.
no Stephen Carell, unfortunately.
And no Steve Carell, but he's got some decent replacements. So basically, the idea of this is based off some old novels, and they were by a comedic writer who was doing a sex education book for older men, trying to get sort of girlfriends and sort of who are virgins and stuff. And it had this joke-y storyline to it, and so there's ongoing characters, and it became really popular in Japan because it was just a really funny take on the genre, or sort of just like it was factual, but it helped you and it was funny. And so the anime sort of version of it is about a guy called Hayao Imagara.
And also about a girl as well, which I think is very interesting,
Is
because usually in media, when we talk about sex and stuff, it's always about the guy's point of view, but you never really see it on the girl's point of view. So I really like the idea that the fact that there's two different varieties. You've got the guy side and the girl side. So really good dynamic.
Part of the idea is you have to understand what the girl is going through if you want to like actually be a nice guy about it, basically. So you got Hayao Megara, who's a 30-year-old salaryman who is a virgin, and then you have a girl called Natsu Andu, who is a 30-year-old librarian
Who does not look 30 years old. They look
she
like
does
they're
not.
in
She does
they
not.
look-
They don't look 30 as well. The art style is quite sort of. It's sort of it's a bit super deformed, but not like really. It's got a bit like chibiness to it. It's like it makes people look a lot younger than they are. But
Well, one of the really cool aspects of this anime, which Robert said, is the fact that it's got a really cool blend of humor as well as really
Fact.
being educational. Yes, a lot of facts. They actually tell you like sort of not just like techniques, if you know what I mean, but also give you like advice for if you're going out with a lady or whatnot and so forth.
it also never feels like pervy. And it legit feels like it's trying to help you. Like it's trying to make you into a better like human being as opposed to just a player.
Oh, but there is definitely perverted jokes here. Don't get us wrong. But
It's great.
the fact is, there's like an anime out there about a co-ed school which becomes like boys and girls, and that just played in the whole fact of all sex jokes, like the girls are just playing like sex jokes. I can't remember the name of the anime, but
Seitokai Yakuindomo.
that one, that just pretty much played in the whole sex joke thing. And for after a while it got really old. One of the reasons I think that got old because it was 30 minutes long, being that this is only 15, not even 15 minutes long, it's 12 minutes long.
That's short. That's short.
The jokes really stay with you, and it's really cool. It's like, it's sharp, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
It's short and sweet. It doesn't have much in it, but each moment's memorable. But basically, yeah, the idea is that both these people get visited by gods of sex, and they sort of fatefully meet by accident and things like that. And they each turn out to have their own like gods. But yeah, he gets a guy called Daigo and Macaron, and then she gets two girls called Pichan and Kuchan. And the entire point is that like the gods give them tips. So that's where the main fact stuff comes on. But also the gods, the way they sort of mess around with basically the fabric of reality to like make it work is just really funny. So for example, a really good joke they did early on is that the god is saying that like sometimes in bed breastplay is important. And the guy just sort of shoves it off. And he just turns around and his keyboard is turned into a pair of breasts that his hands are attached to. And if he doesn't pleasure them in 2 minutes, he will explode. And it becomes like 24 with a pair of breasts. And it's absolutely hilarious. What's weird is that the show's kind of innocent. It's not dirty. It has sort of
I think there's
crude
definitely
jokes, but it's quite nice. Do you know what I mean?
one of the things that I do like about this, which I've said in my Mysterious Girlfriend X, even my recent review of Say I Love You, is the fact that it's about a relationship. That's why I really love it, the fact that you see how this guy tries to get the girl, and the girl's like, no, she's like really shy, innocent, she doesn't want to get a boyfriend, and we actually see that they get together, and with the help of their assistants, I shall call them, because I don't like calling them that, with the help with them, they grow their relationship, and there's just like in Say I Love You, there's bumps along the way,
There's really weird stuff that happens. Like there's a bit where he summons upon like the spirit of all virgins in the universe to create like a spirit ball, which is really funny.
That was
and
brilliant.
like they get a few they do a few crude jokes, but the show always feels like it's actually trying to be nice and that it's not trying to overstay its welcome with it. They do a lot of non-sexual jokes as well, and like jokes that are actually about relationships. Like the girl, she can deploy AK fields, which just are fields basically of just shyness that kill anyone who go near it, and it's just hilarious.
I think one of the most disturbing jokes for me is how the young boy, I forgot his name now, the younger one from the
Macaron.
Yeah, how he dresses up as a girl and actually tries to entice the 30-year-old into
Well, no, it's not he's trying to entice him. It's that Daigoro is trying. Daigoro needs like an example. So you have to kind of like, this is how you talk to a girl. So let's role play. Here's my brother who is dressed as a girl, and you have to attempt to role play with this guy. And it's funny, it's all about the awkwardness of that situation where
there's even parts where you actually like, ooh, maybe I should do him. Like, it's so horrible. It was funny at the same time.
Yeah. No, like the show is the thing the show gets is unrelentingly funny. And a quick just mention to the last episode, which was bloody sweet. It was lovely.
Very sweet.
I mean, the ending is surprisingly different to what you think it will be. Like, for a show that's all about, like, you have to have sex with this girl, otherwise, like that's the goal. You'll be surprised at, like, how the ending deals with it.
Yeah, I mean...
it's really sweet. It's just, we won't say anything, but it's really nice.
I don't know if I can say it's not. It'll probably make it edit it out, but the fact that by the end, it pretty much says, like, it's your choice. When you're ready, you're ready, I think that's...
Yeah, he doesn't have sex with her. It's great.
Yeah, and the best thing is, like, you can actually relate that to real life, like, how the pressure is and peer pressure, like, saying, oh, if you're a virgin, like, oh, everyone laughs at you, but, like, when you're ready to actually go through that part of the relationship, then, it'll happen, but, you can't rush these sort of things.
Spoiler alert. Bit late, but welcome to the unedited review. Yeah.
We'll decide afterwards if we're going to edit or not.
No, we're going to have two reviews now. Spoiler full review and spoiler free review. But back to spoiler free review. Like the show itself is surprise. Like it gets the jokes in, but it's all about morals, and it always has so it's like a parable, always has like a moral at the end that you need to sort of learn to live by. And then never, for a show that's all about sex, it's actually secretly about relationships. Like sexual health is important to it, but actually the act of sex itself isn't as important as you'd think it is.
Very much so. One of the really cool things that I do like about this anime is at the end credits, like at each episode, you always see the two characters in their stage of their life, like just like almost like walking towards each other, and like as the music gets faster, like they're sort of running towards each other. I thought that's a nice little addition.
Yeah, and each episode it's a different generation of their life.
Yeah, so like babies.
There's some really funny ones, like the '70s one, like was really funny to me. But like they have like afros and stuff, but like what was great about it is that in 13-minute sections, you get more of a feeling of these characters than I've got in some entire series. Like before, like you really like, and that's part of it. You really do understand who these people are, and that's what makes it such a nice show and such an interesting show, and why the comedy works is because you really do relate to these characters, even if you're not 30. You kind of actually get what they're talking about. Like anyone who's been in a relationship or had a bad relationship or had a rocky time in a relationship, had a good relationship. If you've anything to, even if you're single, any relationship status ever, you will get this.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, even though the characters are 30, they don't really act like they're 30-year-olds on a date. It's sort of like ageless. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can still sort of relate to it. It does relate
to everyone. Like that nervousness of like when you're on a date with someone the first time. The way they do it is, of course, they put weird things in to represent like how weird it must be. But the thing is, like, as a guy who's been through a rocky relationship, my God, they get it right. My God, do they get it right? How awkward some things are in life. Because they are. It's great.
Is there any problems with it? One problem I do have is that I think that's mainly because of the amount of editing and censoring that this anime has. I mean, I've been unable to find an uncensored version.
No, there isn't, because they were forcibly made to animate in the
Yeah,
editing.
the problem with that is the fact that some sentences just don't make sense. Some lessons don't make sense. They're talking,
Yeah.
and it's like they edit a certain word out. So you're like, okay, I don't understand the context of what you're trying to say. So you get lost in translation. You're like, okay, I don't understand what trying to message or lesson you're trying to convey to me.
Yeah, what annoys me is that the original network station they were trying to go for, I don't know why they picked that as the show that they were going to show, because it's really funny, but like they were a network that seemingly didn't want any of the jokes in that show. And it's also because what's sad is this actually does go into the factual stuff. Anytime they legit try and make a point about sexual organs, okay, and like actual, like at some points things that actually you need to do for health reasons about them, they censor it,
Which is ridiculous because it's not just a jokey anime, it's also an education one as well, which is weird.
like there's a line which is you make sure you're cleaning underneath every day, right? And that's important, that's actually a genuine important thing, right? That's a health
You don't
issue.
want crabs.
Yeah, exactly, and they censor it.
That is so annoying. I don't think there's an unedited version anywhere. I'm surprised that there wasn't an unedited version in Japan. Maybe there is. But
We haven't found one. I've been looking as well, because I
any,
really want one.
any stream you go to, you will not be able to find a unedited version. There really has to be one because you so get lost in translation a lot of times when they censor about those sort of particular things. You really need to understand what they're talking about.
And the thing is, what I don't like is that has it been licensed here yet? Because I haven't heard if it has.
I don't think it has.
I don't think it has, and I'm surprised because I imagine like they were going, oh, we're not going to license this because it's too edgy. But it's surprisingly
sweet.
Yeah, it's not actually like it has sex jokes, but there is stuff out there which isn't trying to be sexual and is way more edgy than this ever could be. Because the thing about this is for every joke it has a legit point to it. Each joke is an actual point, and it's surprisingly poignant, like how much some of that stuff sticks with you, because you do actually learn a couple of things, like, if I'm honest.
You do actually I remember watching it and I felt like I actually learned quite a bit, which is really surprising. I mean, I can't believe that I actually found a really good blend of educational yet at the same time extremely funny.
Yeah, I know, because I know some people really don't. So I don't know why some people have like a real aversion to the humor in it. Because they're just like, I think if you see it as a sexual thing, you're going to not like it because you're going to be like, oh, it's all sexual. But if you actually just see it as an educational thing and sort of read between the lines a bit, you'll find that every joke has a reason to be there. And it's legit. Actually listen to that again and think about what the connotation of that joke is. And that's a tip. That's actually something that will stay with you. And it's very memorable in that. Like, the tips are more memorable because you remember the jokes that are associated with them.
Yeah, so I think it's time for us to end our review now. So, overall, what would you give this out of 10, Robert?
I don't do scores, you know that.
That's my thing. So
that's your thing's scores. I never do scores. You do your score first, and I'll do my recommendation as always.
Okay. Hey, I do recommendations. I say if you like this, if you like that, then you know.
Yeah, I know. But...
Okay, so overall, what would I give it? I give it an 8 out of 10. Still a good score. I think because of the heavy censoring that there is there, it really does bring it down because stuff you just can't understand without the context.
I know we're saying like it's short but sweet, but you do also sometimes wish that you just had a little bit more, like because you sometimes feel like with a couple of subjects they're sort of glossing a bit.
That's true.
But like you do sometimes worry that they're glossing over a couple of things. But most issues they do go into a fair bit of detail, but the censoring stops them from going into any genuine detail with some of the stuff, which is a bit annoying. But the show has a funny atmosphere. It's surprisingly educational. I'm trying to think, because the problem is I would say, oh, if you like this type of comedy, but it is a comedy unlike one I've ever seen before, because I've never seen a comedy that has a legit, like, sort of agenda to help people that much behind it. Like, there are ones which have, like, there are lots of comedies which have, like, kind of, oh, you know, this is sort of a little moral lesson and the character's going to learn something moral. But I've never seen a comedy which is as legit factual and thoughtful as this. It makes education into, like if sex education was this, how good would sex ed be? It's so, like, it's not boring, it's really funny, but it conveys everything you need, really.
Yep. So I think that's it for us too. Okay, so everyone take care and good gaming. No.
You dare take care. I hope every single one of you dies. No, please don't. We love you. We love your fans. I'm sorry.
Right. Take care and see you next time.
Okay, I will.